Alrighty, YouTube, good morning to y'all here. A happy Monday, November 24th, 2025. It is the week of Thanksgiving here, so hope you guys are doing well out there. Some exciting things going on for everybody out there this week, and we've got some exciting weather. Not exciting weather, but we got some snow for some and severe weather for some starting today, going into tomorrow and Wednesday here. The potential for a higher and severe weather event is on the table today, conditionally, if certain things can go the right direction. We don't want those things to go the right direction, and kind of right now, just looking at model trends here this early or this late morning, things are still in pretty decent favor of a pretty decent tornado event today across Texas, Louisiana, and then eventually into Mississippi overnight tonight. So we'll kind of see how things play out. Once again, these severe weather events are never a slam dunk, but we always want people to be prepared just in case something crazy does happen. So we're going to go ahead and run through that here on the update. I will start out here with this massive storm system that you guys can see here on the screen, and this is actually what's going to be causing today's severe weather event here, this upper level low deepening over the Rockies coming across the Central Plains right now. This is going to help get things going here as we see severe weather initiate down here towards southeast Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi with an all hazard severe weather event. So we're going to go ahead and break all that down here on this forecast. Outside of that, though, the West Coast looking pretty quiet. We've got this storm system moving through the central Ohio Valley and eventually the Northeast into tonight and tomorrow. Going to bring some cloud cover and some rain, and then we'll clear things out as we head towards the middle of the week, and then another storm system comes through as we head towards the weekend and into early next. Alrighty, going ahead and taking a look at our severe weather outlook here for today. The Storm Prediction Center does have a slight risk here in the yellow, level 2 risk out of 5 for portions of Jackson, Mississippi, Greenville, Shreveport, Louisiana, Alexandria, New Orleans. You're just on the cusp there of that marginal risk. Going down towards Lafayette, Louisiana here, Houston, Austin, Texas, Waco here in that marginal slight risk. And this is going to be an all hazard severe weather event. So if you're in a risk zone today, you have the chance for all hazards. We do have that better tornado threat here in the 5%, but a 2% there in the green for, once again, the threat for a couple of isolated tornadoes. And I do still think the isolated conditional strong tornado, that is EF2 plus, is on the table for this afternoon. Timing would be mostly after 3-4 o'clock this afternoon. And I think that corridor would be around the southeast Texas, western Louisiana corridor here. So we'll see how things play out between Lufkin, Alexandria, and Shreveport here is kind of my thinking on where that higher threat could potentially materialize at as we head towards later evening hours tonight. Eventually through the overnight hours, this is going to move into Mississippi between 11 o'clock tonight and about 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. And then eventually we'll start out early tomorrow morning with storms ongoing across Mississippi and Alabama, again with another wind and hail and tornado threat. We'll talk about what that looks like here in just a moment. Wind threat today at 15 and 5% for winds up to 60 to 70 miles per hour, and that hail threat again at 5 and 15% for hail 1 to 2 inches in diameter. And taking a look at our day 2 SPC outlook, we do have a marginal risk that goes from southeast Kentucky back down through southeast Tennessee, western North Carolina, mostly all of pretty much of Alabama here, and eastern and southern Mississippi, eastern Louisiana here, and western and central portions of Georgia. Now, most of this risk zone does accompany a tornado risk tomorrow, a low-end tornado risk here with that brief chance of a spin-up or two happening. I do still think a slight risk could be upgraded here in the not too distant future, maybe for a higher tornado risk here across central Mississippi or Alabama. We'll see once again how trends play out this evening into tomorrow. Wind threat at 5% for winds up to 60 miles per hour, and that hail threat also at 5%. Timing of what that looks like here mostly will be between early tomorrow morning between 6 a.m. and noon along Louisiana and Mississippi, and then eventually these storms will transition into Alabama and Georgia between about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and then eventually going through the evening hours here as we see a potential cold front sweep through with a line of thunderstorms producing all hazards of potential severe weather. All right, timing of our severe weather event for today. You can see that ongoing complex of storms that is that's been moving through the DFW area this morning is now moving out. Now, as we go through this afternoon here, approaching the lunchtime hour, we are going to see a warm sector filled with confluence bands here, and this is going to allow for convective bands. This is going to allow for our tornado threat to start to ramp up around lunchtime this afternoon with all hazards of severe weather, large hail damaging winds, and the possibility of a couple tornadoes. But this is mostly going to be focused just north of Houston metro area, back up towards the I-20 corridor. Any of these storms that can become surface based will have the potential for an isolated tornado, and then eventually by around the 4 to 5 o'clock hour here, our stronger tornado threat looks to be realized here along near Lufkin, Texas, Longview, Texas here, getting closer to Shreveport. And if any of these storms can stay non-messy or clouded altogether here, we will have a better chance of a tornado or two here, at least on the stronger side of things, between about 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock this evening. And then eventually, as we head past 7 p.m. tonight, this is going to start to form more of a line of thunderstorms as our cold front surges to the east. Mostly looks to be damaging winds. You may get storms in Houston tonight, you may not. It just really depends on how far south this cold front reaches with our storms. It does look to be, we'll still have a little bit of an active warm sector overnight tonight across the northeast Louisiana Mississippi line. After midnight tonight, those storms will start to move into that direction here. So once again, timing today is going to be key to when people see storms. And like I said, East Texas through western and central Louisiana between 3 o'clock this afternoon and about, I would say 10 to 11 o'clock, and then eventually northeast Louisiana through southern Arkansas, western and central Mississippi will be after midnight tonight through the early tomorrow morning. And then eventually we'll have a round of storms moving through Alabama early tomorrow morning here, and then another round of storms tomorrow afternoon as the cold front advances with all hazards of severe weather possible. And we'll talk more about that in the stream today, as well as with the setup in tomorrow's video. So taking a look as well at our instability values here, plentiful instability here. It does look like our warm sectors continue to trend kind of stalled out here along the I-20 corridor, and this is going to really keep most of our higher severe weather event down here towards southeast Texas, Louisiana. Won't really bring too much of a tornado threat up here. You want to see your supercells hanging around the warm front regimen here, and that's going to allow for just more vorticity. SRH values are a little bit higher in that instability, and the dew point axis is a lot stronger there, unlike above the warm sector where we mostly will have a wind and a hail threat with a isolated tornado or two possible. You never can rule that out, but higher tornado threat looks to be confined along the warm front. And then eventually, as we head through this evening, instability will continue to trickle into Mississippi and Alabama, and then we'll set the stage for tomorrow's event. Like I said, we'll run over what that looks like again into the next video. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, looking at our global models here between the GFS, the Euro, and all of our ensembles, there is a lot of changes that are going to be happening, especially as we head towards next week. So one video, I may show y'all something. One video, the next video may be completely different. That is the part of winter that's super frustrating to forecast with. We were talking about the potential for a big-time winter storm in the Midwest and the Ohio Valley for Thanksgiving, and that's really more confined towards Minnesota and Wisconsin now as it was last week. So lots of changes ongoing. Here's our shortwave trough. It's allowing for our severe weather event to take place again today into tomorrow across the southeast and the lower 48 here. And this is going to continue to work its way through the United States Tuesday into Wednesday, eventually pushing off the East Coast by Wednesday. And then here on Thanksgiving, or at least the day before Thanksgiving here on the 26th, we are going to have an upper level low that's going to come out of Canada. And this is where we start to see very cold air, northwesterly flow enter the picture here with ridging down across the southwest California area, keeping our cold air aloft to the north of that here. And this is really going to allow a major cool down in our Arctic air mass to kind of plunge into effect here. And I do expect snow to fall across southern Minnesota, Iowa here in Wisconsin and Illinois and Indiana as we head potentially into Wednesday and Thursday here. How much that's going to be, we'll talk more about here in tomorrow's video. But right now, like I said, that's going to be a possibility as we head towards the Thanksgiving holiday season here as northwesterly flow sets up. And then eventually by Thanksgiving Day, most of the lower 48 is going to be below average in terms of our temperatures. Heading into Thanksgiving Day here, the only people that I see really being warm are going to be the Southwest Pacific over here as we continue to see that ridging set up. By Friday into Saturday here, that storm system is going to move its way off, and then eventually we'll see another little warm front here set up here is a big time upper level trough decides to set up potentially into Sunday, and this is going to have big implications on what happens next week. Are we going to see a monster winter storm with severe weather on one side, ice and snow on the other side? It is a possibility. It is a very decent possibility. Is that going to happen, and where is that going to happen at? All of that's to be determined, but a huge upper level low is going to work its way into the picture here as we head towards next week. This is around December 1st to December 2nd. I really want to watch for the potential for one, severe weather on the south side here, and two, winter weather, ice, and heavy rainfall on the other side. This looks to be a system that could cause a lot of trouble next week for a lot of people, and this is still a good ways out in time, so this typically could change, and we'll keep you guys updated here on the channel and kind of see what that looks like here in the next couple of days. Going ahead and taking a look at our temperature anomalies here. Orange and darker oranges are the above average temperatures, the blue to dark blue and pink and purple are your below average temperatures, and like I mentioned, we're going to keep things mostly quiet through Wednesday here, other than our storm system moving through and keeping temperatures nice and warm, and then we see that cold blast of air coming down here off of the Arctic, or at least out of Canada, and this is going to allow for below average temperatures to set up for much of the country going into Thursday and Friday here. Once again, Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, going to be very cold for most of the country here. Warm in the west here, in the central and eastern half of the United States, being anywhere from 15 to 25 degrees below average. And then eventually, as we head towards next week, as I mentioned, huge cold air mass coming down out of Canada, way bigger than the one we're going to see this week potentially. And this is going to make the potential for a winter storm, and then we'll have warm air on one side, allowing for severe weather on the other side potentially. Where that sets up is to be determined. But guys, we are entering winter. It is officially here. Meteorological winter is a couple days away, and it does look like we are going to continue to see cold blasts of air, especially as we enter into the month of December here, coming down out of Canada and setting the stage for multiple potential winter storms. All right, here's our timing of what our precip type looks like here as well over the next couple days. You can see our upper level low moving across the United States Tuesday and Wednesday. Here's that little snow system that we're going to have to watch. Mostly a lot of decent snowfall here from Minnesota. The day before Thanksgiving, we could see anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of snowfall potentially up here, maybe even some higher pockets of 5 to 8 plus, some 8-inch total pluses, where higher bands are localized. We'll determine what that looks like here in tomorrow's video and kind of get a forecast out for that as well. But a decent snow event coming through Minnesota and Wisconsin both Tuesday into Wednesday and Thursday here, and that's going to usher in that cold air, and you can see that jet stream dipping here across most of the country with an upper level high in place. This is going to allow for dry temperatures, but cold temperatures. It's going to be that dry, gross feeling when it's very cold outside that most of your skin starts to crack and dry. It's not a lot of fun when you have to deal with that stuff. So we're going to be watching that through Friday, and then as we head into the weekend here, maybe a little clipper snow system event for some light snow here to develop here, and eventually that jet stream gets strung out, and we see the potential, we see the potential here for maybe some significant winter weather as we head towards Sunday and Monday here across much of the region before another major major system with potentially all hazards, ice, sleet, snow, heavy snowfall here for some. The placement of where this low is going to set up right now, a big question mark. You're looking at this, 7 to 8 days out right now, big question mark on what's going to happen with this, or is this going to exist in the next model update? But this would be the setting the stage for a major system next week, possibly a nor'easter, as well as potential for a system across the United States here. We're going to keep you guys updated on that. We were watching the potential for some tropical activity down in the Gulf. I know that sounds crazy as we head towards December, but there is some support for that down there right now. That looks to be on the lesser side of things right now. We'll keep you guys updated if anything changes. We're going to have a live stream here in just a little bit, kind of breaking down and talking about everything. So we'll keep you guys updated as always. Stay safe out there. And if you are new to the channel here, if you haven't subscribed yet, do consider subscribing. We do go live for all severe weather events, as well as we do post videos every single day here on the channel. That's what is my plan to do here. We'll keep you guys updated, and also turn on those bell notification icons. That way you know when we go live, and is also when I do post videos. So I appreciate y'all. Stay safe out there and have a wonderful, wonderful Monday.